Setsuna charged forward, his body engulfed in a fierce blue aura. His magic burst forward like a tidal wave, slashing through the ground with raw, destructive force. His determined expression radiated confidence as his attack advanced with unrelenting power. The professor sneered, mocking Setsuna. "Ha! You're all talk after all. What punishment awaits you for disobeying me, your professor?" His arrogance filled the room, his smirk unshaken despite the display of Setsuna's strength. The scene changed in an instant. Setsuna's magic struck the ground, causing an eruption of debris. Amid the chaos, Setsuna stood tall, extending his hand to reveal a glowing purple crystal. The professor's smug expression turned to shock. "Huh?" he muttered, stunned by Setsuna's overwhelming display of power and silent defiance. Setsuna smirked, holding up the shattered remains of the rock. "See? It's 10 seconds, he declared confidently. The professor's face contorted in disbelief. "Huh!" he exclaimed, unable to comprehend what just happened. Meanwhile, a red-haired girl in the crowd murmured, "He really did it." The crowd erupted in murmurs of astonishment. "That huge rock. Maybe that guy is stronger than the professor?" One student wondered aloud, their eyes wide in shock. The professor's denial grew louder, his voice trembling. There's no way I'll admit it, it's cheating." The professor, desperate to justify himself, shouted, "This rock is so hard that it won't shatter even in 10 minutes. To break that in 10 seconds? It's obvious that he cheated." Setsuna, unbothered, replied coolly, 10 minutes for a rock like this? Maybe it's better for you to quit being a professor and start over as a student." The professor's face turned red with anger. "This damn brat," he snarled, as a new figure appeared, addressing him calmly. "Hey, Zachary." He grabbed the professor by the head, his grip tight and intimidating. "Are you bullying students again?" he growled, his tone low and dangerous. The professor stammered in fear. He had Professor Lionel. Lionel yawned, rubbing his eyes lazily. "Tisk, interrupting my nap," he muttered, looking annoyed. Turning toward the crowd, he addressed the situation. "Just so you know, that guy didn't cheat at all. He read the flow of mana within the rock and aimed for the weakest point in it." Lionel's voice turned sharp as he scolded the professor. "You're trying to act like an instructor while not being able to see through even that." The professor trembled, his face pale. He. Lionel then turned his attention to the students, clapping his hands. "You guys, attention." The students looked confused, unsure of what was about to happen. The professor stood frozen as the crowd buzzed. "I've heard that Professor Zachary is going to demonstrate Mana Guard right now." Lionel's, surrounded by a glowing aura, confidently said, "If you've trained regularly, you won't die from something like this." The professor panicked, waving his hands frantically. Wait, my bad, I'll never do it again." Lionel's power surged, sending a massive wave of energy that shattered the area. Setsuna observed quietly, his expression thoughtful. After breaking through the Mana Guard, that level of power, who is this person? He's not ordinary at all, he mused, clearly impressed. Lionel's walked over to Setsuna, a grin on his face. "Well then, you said your name's Setsuna or something, right? You ain't bad at all." With a chuckle, he added, "For being in the low-leveled close combat department, not bad. Well, just do your best." Setsuna stood silently, absorbing the praise but maintaining his calm demeanor. Setsuna stood confidently, addressing Lionel. "Professor, just because I'm a close combatant doesn't mean I'll lose to other departments. I'll use the strength of close combat to my advantage and become the top of my grade." Lionel grinned, impressed. "That's quite some spirit you've got there. If you ever want to learn magic, just say the word. I'll teach you." Lionel's walk away, his thoughts churned. "I thought they'd already chosen him as the representative for the exchange match. To think there's a dumbass, thinking the same thing as me." He smirked, his expression intrigued. "But it looks like an unexpected dark horse has emerged." Facing the students, he introduced himself again. "Let me introduce myself once again. I'm Lionel, the head professor here." Lionel addressed the gathered students. "Welcome to the close combat department. I hate to say this so soon, but we're about to decide on the representative for the exchange match." The panel shifted to a grand scene of 8 departments competing for glory. Exchange match, it's a major event where the 8 magic departments compete for honor and prestige. One representative is chosen from each department, and the winner is determined through a tournament format. Setsuna reflected on his past life. "Before my regression, I won the exchange match as the representative of the long-range combat department, earning recognition from the headmaster. I can't afford to miss out on the representative position here." He noticed fragments on the ground and muttered, "Fragments of black steel rock." Lionel addressed Setsuna. "Hey, Setsuna, you're not the only one who passed the test. Before you guys arrived, there was someone who extracted the crystal." A flashback revealed a mysterious, powerful figure breaking the rock. With just his fists. Setsuna glanced down at the fragments around them and thought, "These fragments at our feet." Setsuna observed the fragments scattered far from their source and thought, Did they come flying from that distance? Lionel called out, Drago Okred, you too, come forward. A tall, intimidating student stepped forward, introducing himself. So, you're Setsuna Cromwell, huh? Drago confronted Setsuna. Why did you come to close combat despite having aptitude in other magic paths? He questioned. Setsuna replied calmly, because there are things to be done with close combat magic. Drago sneered, then what about that weak body of yours? With a smirk, Drago flexed his strength. My family lineage has excelled exclusively in close combat magic for generations. I, too, have spent 17 years training this body for that purpose. The atmosphere became intense as energy surged through the room. Students cried out, Kyok! Wah! As they were thrown off balance by the shockwave emanating from the confrontation. Drago stepped forward, his voice firm. Fight me. I won't let the representative position go to a mere pretender who came to close combat as a joke. Setsuna analyzed the situation, remembering, Drago, huh? I remember hearing his name during the representative match before the regression. The only man known from the lowly close combat department. With a determined look, Setsuna responded, bring it on. Drago smirked. Very well. Lionel clapped his hands, breaking the tension. Glad you've reached an understanding, he said with a grin. Then, the match will be after a week. Don't even think about escaping during this week, got it? Drago smirked and taunted, if you're a close combat mage, then fight to the death. The students murmured among themselves. Well, who do you think would win? One asked. Another replied, no matter how much talent he has, he can't beat Drago, right? Layla's turned to Setsuna with a hopeful smile. You can win, right? She asked. Setsuna sighed. Nope. Her shocked expression was comical, but Setsuna's thoughts were serious. Against Drago's trained physique, I can't compete with him in my current state. Setsuna began walking away, his voice calm and resolute. But I have a secret plan, he said, leaving the group. Layla's girl called out in confusion. Hey, where are you going? The two walked along a wooded path, her concern evident as she followed him. As Setsuna and Layla's girl approached a massive tree deep in the forest, she asked, where is this? Setsuna replied with a calm confidence, it's a secret training spot that only I know of. The atmosphere grew charged as Setsuna stepped forward, green energy beginning to swirl around him. And in this place, I will become 3 times stronger, he declared, determination glowing in his eyes. A massive tree stands tall, ancient and majestic. What a massive tree! Noting, it must be a